Welcome back to the Men of Culture podcast by AFK Gaming. My name is Nishant and I'm going to be hosting Stan's co-founder and CEO Parth Chadha today. Stan is a fan engagement platform that focuses on esports and gaming enthusiasts. Today's conversation jumps into the details of the Indian gaming and esports industry, what it takes to build an engagement platform, and how Stan plans to compete with some of the larger names out there. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time out today. I think we've never really formally interacted with each other except over LinkedIn messages. I tried going back, to check if there was any conversation that we've had in the past, but unfortunately there's none, and I think it's long overdue, yeah? I'd love to hear more about you, who you are, where you come from, who are you in work mode, who are you outside of work mode?
Sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I've been an avid, let's say, entrepreneur or founder or builder. I would say I don't know how to, all these places are fancy. The actual job is much more fancier or fun, right? So I come from Meerut. It's a small town in UP, but almost a Bangalorean now. Apart from the fact that I don't know how to speak Kannada, I just know a little bit of it. And product and techie. Post my engineering, I worked for JP Morgan for around 3.5 years. Very boring job at the bank. Gaming is something which has been super exciting always for me. I have, been playing at these cafes near my school days and, even in college days, played a lot of Tekken, Counter-Strike, and then, always been closer to the games and always enjoyed the social angle of gaming, much to do with how I can create some business out of the gaming industry, because coming from a business family background, always, wanted to do something around business, and which is much more impacting than what I was doing at JP, building stuff for the bank. So worked with different buckets in gaming like esports, RMG, and now building Stan. It's been a while. It's been a crazy journey. Apart from work, I love to do, I'm a lot into fitness. Although I've spoiled my physique a little bit, like over the period of last couple of years, been busy building, but I try to hit the gym every day. I play badminton. I'm a socializer, I would say. I like to meet friends, learn more stuff, like to see how the gaming universe sort of, coincides with the other universes where, my friends are. I do have friends outside gaming industry. So sort of, that's about me, but a lot of me, is driven by discipline, passion, and persistence. I think that's some of the traits which all of us like founders are, very, very much driven by. And that's about me.
Parth, you mentioned you're a gamer, right? And you said you played Tekken and CS back in the day. What are you playing right now?
I don't get too much time to play. I play Brawlhalla a little bit on the PS. I play FIFA. I try Valorant sometimes when I get time. But net, this is where my time goes. FIFA is something which is universal love. I at least a minimum of 2 games on the weekend is something which I do, spend time on my PS5.
So I believe Stan isn't your first rodeo when it comes to startups, right? You had a startup before this called Ewar. How did that go? What went right? What went wrong? What did you learn from that? And what have you taken into Stan with you from that journey?
Yeah, Ewar was much more to do with real money gaming. It was a platform of like 25 plus games on one app, sort of like a boutique studio approach where, bunch of people sitting in Bangalore. We were building hyper casual games, and back then there was a lot of market boom in terms of, skill based RMG. Sadly, all this GST hit which has just happened, and in fact today there's supposed to be one discussion around it. So it was a pretty interesting play, a unique monetization angle which India came up with, called real money gaming and not gambling, and whatever you put that phrase, where you get people to put in money and play skill based games like carom, all these like hyper casual games like snakes and ladders and stuff like that. So it was good. We scaled it decently. We were like 5 million users and pretty much covering entire geography in India. And good learnings there. We built games in house. We learned all those things hard ways where we had to build it for the low end devices, bad bandwidths, because a lot of users coming in from the tier 3 as well, Xiaomi, Poco devices, and a bad like 3G data and stuff. So the game should not break, and a lot of stuff to do with security layers on, because there was real money involved, people putting in money and playing for real money. So a lot of stuff to do with additional layers where people would keep trying hacking and, trying to make some money out of it, but you keep building the next layer of, anti-cheat, and then they come up with something interesting next time. So, security and challenging market, good to, maintain a good, healthy CAC to LTV sort of models there. I think first time founder raising money was difficult, I would say, back then, because you've not proved yourself, let's say substantially, that people believe in you and give you good millions of dollars to spend on your marketing spends and grow the business. And there were some large players in the market who are competing directly with Ewar, and but we did manage to scale sustainably, try to bring that product differentiation, and keep our CACs low. Took a strategic angle where we felt that there's a lot of roadblocks in terms of regulatory issues, like states getting banned, and and also like the real money gamer is fickle-minded, or let's say very vulnerable, low retention guy. He would play on 5 different apps and, try to win. So very, very difficult to crack business there, and in terms of unit economics. So while doing that, I played decent esports, not to a level where I could play competitive, but still, always loved being around competitive players and enjoying tournaments and watching live streams. So we did something interesting during Ewar days called Ewar PUBG Mahayudh. We partnered with Tencent and we hosted this large tournament on the platform online during COVID days, and came out to be a decent success. 5,000 teams in like just quick time. And that time I realized that, there's a unique proposition in the esports space to build on. People are passionate, people stick to the game, people love the players, started following their behavior. Then we, sort of came to a point that let's do something for the esports TG specifically. And, that's how Stan got conceptualized over a period of time. So yeah, some great learnings, and using all those learnings in building Stan, a lot of stuff were learned about, running teams. I've sorted my, let's say, L1s or my champions in different verticals in the company, which I didn't have during Ewar days, so that I get enough time to sort of, do some of the real stuff apart from the BAU, right? Which I was not able to do that, do back then. A lot of user behavior, which we learned from, understanding the TG in gaming, understanding the growth hacks a little bit, sort of, these things we have helped us to sort of quickly scale to like 1.5 million users on Stan and build a strong community. So yeah, I think these are some of the learnings which I can share with you.
Amazing. And what are you currently excited about at Stan? You guys seem to be launching new features and new cool stuff on the app very often. I was just fidgeting around the app today, and I played one of those tug of war card matchups. Pretty interesting stuff you've got going on there. Give us a sneak peek into what you're working on.
Yeah, I think there's one big learning which we took from Ewar and our journeys is data is supremely important. Although data is clashing with creativity at almost every time, our data team and strategy head, competing, let's say, with the product guys and saying, hey, you've got to build this and you should not be building this. So I think understanding the user keeps me exciting. I spend a lot of time reading Discord chats on my, on Stan's Discord server, or on our chat in the platform as well, looking at the data, understanding why they are doing what they are doing on the platform, and sort of understanding the needs and wants of the user. I think that is where I spend almost like 70% of my day. And I try to, if I've missed those, I would do that on the weekend. Because I think I believe whatever success we've, achieved is because of reading between the lines and adding some features. Like you said, adding features every day. I think I was reading it as well somewhere recently that India market is difficult to build with focus, like just sticking to one stuff and keep building and, growing. India is easier if you do a bunch of stuff with your users. And you can, suck money out of the pockets of people if you give them like N things. If you just give them one thing, everybody's so particular. In fact, we as end users or gamers or, spenders, we always be focused on ROI and, what I have spent in one thing, what I have not in the other. And I believe that if it's like a, platform play where you can offer like bunch of stuff, and if things which work, you just make them stick and you remove the ones which which are not working, but serve the same TG, serve the same set of users, which is net, helping you grow the business. So I think that's the reason why we keep trying different stuff on the platform, and it works at the end of the day. So yeah, excited about getting all the esports players to absorb and try out different offerings we have. Also looking at, exploring other markets apart from India, learning, what's happening at the other ends in terms of the different games and titles and players, how's the player behavior like. So I think we'll soon have some pilots outside India as well, because we do see some traffic coming in and trying, and also looking at adding more titles. Like today we have BGMI, Free Fire content on the app, like cards and collectibles. We'll also have like Valo. We are working on building something there. So at end of the day, it's like building a strong community of gamers who can be gamers, fans, or enthusiasts, and give them some formats which they really enjoy.
Got it. So you've given us a pretty clear picture of the product side of Stan, right? Help us understand the business case here for Stan. Where's the monetization going to come from? How does this scale? What's the end game for Stan? When you say that, okay, I've done my job, let me hang up my boots, I'm done with Stan.
I think esports has been predominantly brand sponsorships, streaming rights, sort of revenue and, economy layer. But user economy is pretty much only with the publisher when you do in-app purchases, right? Platform level user economy is something which has not been tracked at a scale. That's what we are chasing at Stan, because we strongly believe that there are gamers, there are players, there are, esports community people who like to spend on stuff which they are really excited about. But it's just that the format is missing. So that is where we started Stan in first place. So it's like a derivative on esports IPs. So today it starts with collectibles, and people come on Stan for various reasons. I mean, definitely the one reason which is common is they are all esports guys. They follow either the game or the influencer or the YouTuber or the esports team or the player, right? And so on and so forth. So they'll come to the platform for couple of things. Like these guys have that typical needs and wants. Some of them are avid collectors. They come to just collect these cards. Some of them are gamers who love to play this trump card battle game on the app. Tug of war and trump card. We have like different variants of these card game. And net, like they would do all this because they always dream about winning and they look forward to winning. Either it could be in-game currencies or it could be fan rewards, like, I get a chance to meet this top guy. I get a chance to play with, one of the top esports players. I get a chance to get an Instagram shout out. I mean, a lot of these guys go and spend on YouTube for super chats. And what we realized that almost all of the top players and, talents were not able to fulfill what they were asking for, right? Like people tend to buy these memberships on YouTube, but these memberships were not getting fulfilled in stuff that the esports player or the YouTuber has to deliver for whatever he's promised on those. I mean, Stan started with me buying the top membership for one of the top esports player, like the most expensive, which actually promised a meet and greet. Okay. And I waited for like 2 weeks and nothing happened. And I tried, because I'm a community guy, so I just tried to, pull some strings and figure out that nothing happens. It's just like people pay for it and it doesn't get, delivered. So it started from there, and that's what has been a monetization strategy day one, like creating a user economy on esports IPs, where it's lot to do with fan rewards, in-game rewards, and the format would be collectibles. Like they would come and buy these collectibles, trade, upgrade, play. That's where, the money is, that's where a business comes from.
Interesting. What's the biggest success story you've had so far within Stan, right? I'm sure there were many wow moments, but what was the one aha moment that said, hey, we're on to something, guys, and our effort is now finally being rewarded?
I think our content on Instagram goes viral, and with that, people come in, they just bring their friends in. With one Insta reel, it circulates and creates like a funnel where it goes to downloads, to DAOs, to payers. That loop is something which is something really keeps me hooked, and feel that things are working. Like we do have some product market fit here. I think that's when the wow movement started, and we've just tried to replicate that in different forms, understanding the needs and want of the gamer. And interestingly, we've grown all organically in the past 1 year. We've not spent on marketing dollars like, Instagram ads and stuff like that. It's all like Discord and people getting their other friends in, people just coming on Stan for these cards. And one of those fans actually, like few of those fans got to meet these guys. Like there's a video on, Jonathan meeting one of the fan, and one of that fan starts crying and gives him a hug. And that day I was just standing next to the guy, and I felt that there is something which we are building here, which is, exciting. So I think these are the wow moments. We did Stan FanFest during DreamHack. That was amazing. That was a phenomenal success. Like there was like 30,000 footfall, people coming in, shooting with these creators, meeting with them, and like it went viral on YouTube with Stan FanFest. There was a lot of content on YouTube, and actually people got a chance to meet these gamers and influencers. Like they were like around 15 big YouTubers who had like massive fan base on one stage, and audience standing next to them hooting. So I think all these sort of events and feature launches and user coming in and trying, these are the wow moments which we really admire.
Yeah, I heard some very good things about Stan FanFest. I heard the event got so crowded you needed to actually get cops to stop people coming in, that's a very happy problem to have in Indian gaming and esports.
True. I mean, we expected around like 7,000-8,000 people would turn up, but like some of the creators' Instagram stories went pretty viral, and a lot of people started crowding there, and we took help of the cops to sort of manage it. It was fun. It was really fun.
Right, and what's the hardest part of building Stan right now? I understand that there are a lot of macroeconomic headwinds, right, for gaming and esports companies, and with the overall funding environment sort of looking dry. Are you facing these headwinds at Stan today? And outside of these two major challenges, what's troubling you guys today, and how are you trying to overcome them?
I think building a company which is like, dependent on community and, a product where you need to get your gamer community being built and that too, growing sustainably is in itself a challenging task, right? Like you don't want to burn capital. Thankfully, like fortunately, we raised a decent, seed capital last year, and we do have sufficient runway to, keep growing. I think the challenging thing was switching on monetization early days. I think a lot of stuff has happened in the recent couple of months, which has been good in some sense. I think sort of creating those filters in the community where all the good guys, or let's say the good businesses, the healthy way of businesses will sustain, and the rest of the guys will fade out. That's what everybody is talking about. And I really believe in that, because all the decision makings have slightly tweaked in the last couple of months, in last couple of quarters, in fact. I mean, we started with some thoughts in the mind in the beginning, but I think very quickly we sort of made some decisions and tweaks on our way. And that has helped us to grow at a sustainable pace. And like I said, keep growing organically, first establish PMF and then scale it up. Apart from that, I think building a gaming company challenge is to keep entertaining and keep serving your gamers and users every day with something new, or let's say every now and then, like they just get bored of everything, right? And we as gamers as well, like we just need something fresh, and that sort of is closely linked to retentions and people sticking to the platform. I think that is always challenging for any gaming company product, I would say. So yeah, I think that the recent winter, which everybody is calling, I think it's good and bad. Good for making things right and changing our decisions. Bad in a way that it might be, let's say, it'll give you the fruits later, growing and working hard, and then it's gonna reward you later. That's where it is being talked about these days.
What's one stat that you're really proud about at Stan?
I mean, we're doing like more than 500,000 monthly active users. Almost like half of these users are transacting users on the app, right? And CACs are pretty low for us. So I think all these KPIs, which tend to sort of make us feel that yes, we're doing decent and we're growing. That's something which we are proud of. Small stuff like we've got like 50,000 followers and on Instagram, but we've started touching like 6 million accounts in 30 days. Now we've just started, our followers are growing. Our Discord is at 80,000 members and plus, and all this is organic. So without spending, we're growing, and we are touching some numbers which people have spent 3-4 years to reach there. I think that is something which is pretty exciting.
Very cool. What about the Indian gamer, right? You talked a little bit about them earlier, about how the Indian RMG gamer plays on 5 platforms and is always trying to min-max their winnings and their earnings around these apps. What's the Stan gamer like? What's the Stan user like? Give us some insight into what clicks for them, what lessons you've learned by trying to cater to them and not actually performing.
Like I said, there are like in India, it's broadly a couple of, let's say, user profiles in gaming. There's RNG guy who's an earner who comes to earn. There is a socializer who sort of socializes with the games, like esports games, or even could go to an hyper casual play. And then so-called very hyper casual audience which just plays like Candy Crush and stuff. Kill time and stuff, and strategy gamers. So Stan is anybody who is a esports enthusiast or a hardcore gamer, playing maybe 5-6 hours a week to 7-8 hours a day, playing the likes of PUBG, Free Fire, PUBG's BGMI in India, and Call of Duty, and the player profile is obviously like 16, 17 years to 25, 28 years of age. They love to, socialize over games. They are super passionate about the game, the community, the esports player, the team. I'm sure, you and I are one of these, and we keep following some of the favorite streamers or players and the games. We don't want to miss the major tournaments and matches. India esports audience is growing. There's a lot of collegiate esports happening internally, which has not been, let's say, amplified or touched upon opportunistically. I think that has a lot of potential. Somebody has to come with a huge collegiate IP and sort of connect the dots and give them opportunities to play, just how it is outside India as well. Because a lot of our users are also college-going students, and they come to Stan, they start spending, thinking that they can earn currencies, they can earn these fan rewards. Yeah, I think pretty much male driven, but like on Stan as well, like 15-80% odd females, what we track actually from the data we have. And it's also because of, we see some female content creators and gamers have spread across the country. I think likes of devices again, like Xiaomi and even cheaper phones, they love to play Free Fire, and they'll delete all the apps and keep these apps and play on these apps, right? And there's like a massive user base who is just, wanting to play for hours. Like I was sitting in my cousin's house, over the weekend, and my nephew, he literally didn't come out of the room. He was playing Fortnite on his PC, and he was playing with my other nephew who was in Delhi, and that guy had logged in on PS, I think, on the console, and they were, because it's a cross-platform play in Fortnite, and he just came out to have his quick lunch and went back, and he started playing again. And then there's there's like massive spends by these guys. Like some numbers which I read was, $600 million plus on in-app purchases in the country in the last 1 year. And that's growing crazy, month on month. So I think that's what the user is in India. It's a big shift from just DAOs, daily active users, to payers now. These are some insights which we see on daily basis.
Let's talk about the state of gaming and esports businesses in India, right? I think I kind of agree with you that the winter has, pros and cons both, and those ripple effects are coming to India as well. India had probably another blow that it had to face with the bans of BGMI and then the unban and all the uncertainty around it, right? What's your take on the state of, influencer businesses, tournament organizers, platforms, teams, and all the other intermediaries in gaming and esports today? Do you think there is someone that's poised to be a winner? Do you think there is, it's a situation where a rising tide lifts all boats? What's working for them? What do you think they're doing wrong? Just some freewheeling thoughts around them.
First of all, like if we just talk about esports, like you asked, and then people often try to change definitions of esports easily, but I would stick to the ones who are, let's say, closely related to these games which I was talking about and competitive play. I think it's been there for a while. All of us know that, but the moment it starts hitting the peak and like starts growing, some stuff comes away, and sort of like decreases the momentum for a while. It could be ban or it could be winters or anything. But I think the overall trajectory is going to grow. Like it's growing every year, and we see a lot of talent, lot of users coming into the esports market. I think the opportunity is definitely existing. It's just a matter of who finds the right format and builds something around it. I think one big learning I have is stick for long. I mean, if you're in this game, you're for, let's say, at least like 6 years, 10 years, time, or even more than that. Because if you start thinking that it's a quick buck, you can come build something and quickly, make money. For sure, it's not the right place, because India is a growing market. I mean, you can come up with a amazing game and just blow up like crazy. That's something there, but we've not seen that over a period of time, because for a game to reach that peak, it has, in esports specifically, it has to even involve, let's say, global players, and it's, let's say, a big IP, big enough to sort of involve all the Indian esports audience to start playing and get their hands on, and a lot to do with graphics and how do you serve your audience well. In terms of platform play, I think the stickiness has always been a concern for almost everybody who's tried till date. People have burnt and got those audiences, burned money and acquired, and that's never a sustainable way to grow, because when you see these winters coming, you will always see these companies fading away. So I think the right way is to keep growing sustainably, keep those genes of fundamental business models right. I think there is success in esports, and now there is a lot of interest and a lot of investors' interest, a lot of dollars flowing into the system. A lot of things are going right, like setting up of Indian entities for publishers, and big tournaments happening, prize pools going up. I think there's a lot of substantial things which will turn up. But like I said, it's a long play. Whoever's in for long will definitely take the reward out of it.
Which leads me to my next conversation topic, right? VCs and video games. Are VCs a necessary sin for video game companies, right? Because the VC thesis, or at least the VC investing model, seems to be, hey, you have 5 years, do what you got to do, give us our money back and then some.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to build a business for the long term, especially in a market that has not proven itself to be able to deliver these kind of returns, where the business model isn't figured out in many situations even, right?
Yeah.
Is it prudent for gaming and esports companies, specifically in India, to go looking for VC money? Or do you think that, looking for a more patient source of capital or alternative means of raising money is a better option? And how is Stan approaching this problem?
Yeah, I think for sure patience is something which is needed in this industry. And I think VCs have learned it in with the hard way of let's say some of the VCs are very close to gaming and just hardcore gaming investors. They have definitely had great learnings, and because gaming is a sunrise sector, there's so much happening. It's like a hotbed right now because, like, you imagine, like 500 million gamers in India itself. Like, India gaming industry is something which is on an inflection point, and people just want to put in money and see where it goes because you always invest in stuff which is growing, right? Or you'll invest in something where you'll get some linear returns, but you'll see all those hockey stick growths in the gaming industry, and VCs always love that. So I believe times have changed, and people and VCs do understand that, there have been some strategic grade acquisitions. Like, I was reading about some amazing M&A deals which have happened in the past in gaming. I think VCs have learned that it takes a while. It might, come out in, 5 years time. It might go to a 10 years tenure. So, but definitely patient capital is important. That's why choosing the right partner is really important. While you start your journey, we see money. I mean, money is important. Capital is important to build in this industry because there's a lot to do with distribution here. It's not like you're building a B2B SaaS company where you can, start touching few clients and then keep expanding and keep your referrals coming in from one business to the other. It's like a B2C play where you would want your early adopters to come in, then you would want them to get more users, then you keep scaling it once you hit the PMF, right? And economies work on margins which need scale in this case, right? So that's where VC money is definitely one good source of which gives you a good head start, which can help you scale your business. And I think some of the right gaming VCs are always the front runners of helping the community in this case. How Stan is approaching, I mean, like I said, fortunately got some great partners day one. I mean, we started with an MVP, and then we managed to raise a seed capital. We've got General Catalyst. We've got a couple of other guys who have invested in Stan, and now that we have a product market fit, we are getting some interest from a couple of investors who really want to invest in us and partner with us. But I always believe that when you're raising money from a VC, there are obviously those other side of things where you lose some bit of control, you're challenged by the growth funnels, and you need to keep proving, and the hard things which are there, so which actually helps you to push yourself, push the company to the next stage as well, but always doing it in a strategic manner, in something which is right for you is what is advised. And at the end of the day, VCs are your partners in the business if you treat them like partners. And let's say not like your bosses who would just keep changing your decisions on the way, right? So that, I mean, these are some notes which I have some a fair share of experience which I can share in terms of the VC life, whatever I've had.
All right. And what's next for Stan as a company and as a product, right? Where are you guys going next?
I mean, the vision is straightforward. We want to be let's say the category leader of D2C esports business. It starts with a derivative play of esports IP, so capturing enough India market and then trying out outside India as well. Expanding to more titles. Different geographies have different titles which are popular. India is a lot of PUBG, BGMI, Free Fire, and Western market is different titles. LATAM, Middle East, and there's a lot of stuff in esports that is happening across the world. Idea is to scale it quickly and reach all those esports players. I mean, it's a tough job, but that's the vision which we are chasing. Starts with India because we have some leverage here. We've some good partnerships here. We've got a good head start in the geography, and there are decent gamers and user base in India to serve. And then obviously taking it to the level that every esports player thinks that they should have Stan in their phone, and they should be a user. They should use it for different reasons. Like, some of them would be crazy fans of these esports players' teams. Some of them would be coming for earning these currencies, and all of them would be, let's say, being part of the community which is built on Stan. So I think this is what we believe in, and obviously it's a long-term goal. We've just got started. It's been like a year and a half for us. So that's what we are looking forward to.
Awesome. Very interesting. And once again, Parth, thank you so much for joining us and for giving us your time. It's been a good conversation, and I hope our listeners had learned something from this one.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope this was helpful.
And with that, we're at the end of today's episode. If you've enjoyed this conversation with Parth Chadha from Stan, do hit the subscribe button and share it with your friends. Until next time, this is Nishant going AFK.